Hello everyone, my name is Karthik Ganapati. In this video, I'm going to talk about how using BigQuery AI we can derive competitive intelligence and from meta ads in particular. So I'm going to motivate this by walking through the end user here, which is a typical growth marketer at a D2C or a large corporation. And one of the primary problems that growth marketers usually face is that they uh, one of the channels they're optimizing for is paid social ads. And Meta, of course, is one of the bigger channels that they're trying to optimize. And as some of you might be knowing, a lot of ads that run on Meta are available for public view. So, in principle, while you can uh, look at what your competitors are running on Meta for their various ad campaigns, the amount of data there is substantial, and not just that, there is ads that get refreshed pretty much on a daily basis. So there is a constant flux of data that is coming in. So uh, we want to be able to help the growth marketer in staying on top of what all their competitors are up to, because that in turn will affect how they think about their growth strategies and how they should behave in the competitive space. So, in this particular uh, video, I'm going to show how, with the 100% BigQuery AI implementation, we can build a comprehensive uh, competitor intelligence system. So this will not just tell you where things are with respect to each of your competitors, but also the so what of it, what you can do about it, what are the possible interventions, and also some forecasting into the future from past data as to what the trends will look like in the future. So, having said that, let me get started with showing you the meta ads library. If you haven't seen, this is how it looks like. So you can see that iBuyDirect is a eyewear brand that is running 100 active ads at this moment, and it's a mix of images and videos and everything. And similarly, you have some of its competitors like Glass USA or Lens Crafters or a few others. So what we want to do is to be able to ingest all of this data and be able to run uh, competitive intelligence analysis on an ongoing basis. And this is what I'm going to show today. And just to give you an overview of the kind of system we have in mind here, uh, uh, let's look at this image to motivate ourselves. So, competitive intelligence comes in many different ways. So, as you can see from here, there is audience intelligence, in particular, what audience behaves which way on a particular platform, what is the psychographic profile of theirs, and there is creative intelligence, of course, sentiment analysis, and so on. And of course, there is channel intelligence as well, as we talked about, like whether what you run on Facebook and what you run on Instagram are correlated or not. So, as you can see, intelligence comes in many shapes and form, and we want to be able to have a pulse of where our brand is at and where the competitors are at in this multidimensional space. So that's sort of the problem statement here. And this is what I have in terms of how we are thinking about it in terms of building an end-to-end competitive intelligence system. So to begin with, uh, uh, we search on Google, say who are my competitors. So I mean, if you are a seasoned person in the field, you already know who your competitors are, but there could be some fast rising companies that are increasing in presence, and we want to capture those up and coming players as well. So the first step in this process is about getting a large pool of candidates based on my brand and uh, uh, competitors of my brand. So this is the first step in the process where we start with a large pool of potential candidates, and then we curate this data set again here using AI.generate table with a three-round consensus mechanism where we run the same query uh, thrice and take the score the results based on whether multiple runs had a consensus or not. So with this, we are able to filter about 15 candidates. So the reason we are limiting to 15 is because it's unlikely that you'll be able to act upon an intelligence for more than 15 candidates anyway. And this is in some sense separate from which of the platforms these competitors choose to advertise on. So the pre-selection of a brand's competitors happens before we start looking at the meta ecosystem. And once we have a set of candidates as competitors that we want to look at, then we start with looking at their meta activity and we rank them. And uh, what I'm showing here is a particular case study that I'll go into detail in my actual demo. And there we ended up with 7 validated competitors. Some of them didn't have meta presence, some had meta presence, but at that instant were not running any ads. So for these 7 competitors and the target brand, we then go ahead and get the ads collected. What this means is that we'll collect a bunch of things. As you can see from here, you have many text fields, which is the body of the text, and there is a call to action field, and there is a title, which is here, and of course, there is this image. So, and of course, you can also see when this ad started running, in this case on September 17th. So there is a wealth of information that we can get by ingesting these ads. And in this particular case, we got about 582 ads. And after that is when we start processing it. I'll go into details about what specific labels we uh, are able to generate using AI for these ads, but essentially we batch process to label these ads that we have based on some strategic axes of interest, and then we generate embeddings for these using text embedding models, and then we call Gemini for visual intelligence along with the text embeddings and the visual embeddings. We call Gemini, and we run a multimodal analysis. And the next stage in the pipeline is where we run more of a strategic analysis based on similarity, and we also, as I mentioned earlier, forecast into the future. So that happens here. And the penultimate stage is where we run multidimensional intelligence and finally show the results in a progressive disclosure manner that you can present. to executives to being actionable to yourself and being able to monitor on an ongoing basis. So this is sort of the uh, how the pipeline looks like. And specifically, if we were to look at it from the viewpoint of BigQuery alone, these are the places where BigQuery plays a role. So during AI curation, we are using AI.generate table for curation, for building consensus and shortlisting the competitors. And then in stage six, we have embeddings where we're using generate embedding. And then in stage seven, we have AI.generate, which is doing the multimodal analysis using visual and text data. And then in stage eight, we are using ML forecast to forecast about 4 weeks into the future and some similarity metrics that feed into five-dimensional intelligence vector space. And lastly, we also feed this embeddings into creative intelligence. So this is how the end-to-end looks like from a BigQuery point of view. And now let's get to the actual demo. So here I have my Jupyter notebook where I'm going to show you what the results look like, what the intermediate steps look like. As we mentioned here, these are the uh, 9 steps that we will walk through in this whole process. And as I mentioned, this will showcase that using Gemini and some text embedding models and uh, yeah, doing a whole bunch of analysis. So walking through the notebook. So this is the place where you're just loading the required libraries, and then here we are just preparing a clean slate. So this just means some of the tables in BigQuery that are no longer needed from the earlier runs. We are just getting rid of those. As you can see, this is showing you how many tables there are. There are 14 tables with 12 analysis tables and two base data tables, and we are cleaning those up. And after the cleanup, we have two tables that are sort of persistent, and these are our sources of truth that will feed into the analysis throughout the pipeline. So this is what stage zero looks like. It's a preparatory stage. And then, as I mentioned earlier, in the stage one, we discover are competitors. So the expected output here is essentially we create a table called competitors underscore raw underscore run ID that consists of all the competitor candidates that we discovered using Google custom search. So this is how this looks like. So we start with running Google search with various kind of keywords. So the brand here we are looking at is Warby Parker. It's similar to iBuyDirect and some of the other brands that I showed. And we run the query with different keywords, competitors, alternatives, and so on. And as a result, we accumulate, in this case, we accumulated about 430 candidates. And in the, yeah, this is how the data looks like in terms of top 10 competitors that were discovered. And these are the sources through which they were discovered. Some of these were discovered through Reddit, some of these were discovered through Forbes, and so on. So, and here we also get information about what were the specific keywords that were most effective in getting the results that we got. And uh, that's it. So at the end of stage one, we will have discovered about 400 to 500 potential competitors from diverse web sources by running multiple search queries. And in the next step, we do a curation using AI. And this is where we will do this in 2 steps. First step, we do a smart pre-filtering to cut down based on keywords and what typical company names would look like. We bring it down from 400 to 500 to about 75. And from there, we run threefold consensus by asking Gemini, in this case, to rate the quality of a particular result being a legitimate competitor or legitimate company. So that's how we shortlist about 15 competitors, as I mentioned. So we are running this in batch mode with 5 candidates in each batch, and we are eventually getting to 15 candidates. And yeah, the next thing here is uh, we'll look at what happens in stage 3, but just to summarize what happened in stage 2, we applied a 3-round consensus to filter valid candidates. And in terms of outputs, we still have competitors underscore raw as the big table that we will use for downstream processing. And the third stage is meta ad activity ranking. And here, uh, we are going to look at the ad activity of each of the competitors that we shortlisted and rank them based on ad volume to see how many ads each one is running. And that's this. I'll skip through these because these are not BigQuery heavy, but I just wanted to show you the entire pipeline. And then the next step is meta ads ingestion. So here again, we'll have shortlisted a few of these competitors that also happen to have a significant amount of meta ad activity. So in this particular case, we were able to shortlist 4 meta active competitors from stage 3. And the output here is going to be about 200 to 400 ads that are running on Meta across these brands, and that's what we are doing here. So we are uh, calling, making an API call, and uh, getting to uh, the actual ad, and we are ingesting that into a Google Cloud Storage bucket. And of course, there is deduplication here that happens, and that way we ensure that across multiple API calls, we still maintain clean, non-duplicated source of truth for downstream analysis. So as you can see, many of these were already collected in a previous run. So that's why you see most of these are skipping the duplicate. And at the end of it, you see what the results are. So here you have 5 brands that are eventually going to go through downstream analysis for computational analysis. As I mentioned, Warby Parker is the target brand, and these are the 4 competitors that had significant amount of ad activity. So, and this is the number of ads that were collected for each of these. And as you can see, this is the table that we'll be working with downstream. This is still raw data. This might contain some duplicates, although the specific asset, which is in this case the image corresponding to the ad, that which gets stored in the Google Cloud Storage, that has been deduplicated, but the ads table itself hasn't been deduplicated. So this is what stage 4 does. In the sense, we have parallel ad collection from meta-active competitors. We do a ad data normalization, and then we prepare the raw ads table for stage 5 processing. So this is at the end of stage 4. And stage 5, as I mentioned, is about strategic labeling, and this is where a lot of the interesting things start happening. And let's see what happens. So, as you can see here, uh, one of the things we want to do is create a clean, non-duplicated source of truth, which in our case, I'm calling this ads with dates. That's the table that will eventually get created. So this is, if you remember earlier, was one of the tables that wasn't cleaned up across multiple runs. And this is the table that gets uh, appended to from the raw ads data. So here in this particular case, you have 143 ads for the target brand that were ingested, and this goes through uh, ingestion into ads with the dates. And then the next thing we do is also do a strategic labeling. So here we are looking at what the messaging of each of the brands is along various different axes of our interest. So the first one here is promotional intensity, and this is a score between 0 and 1, and you can see that most of these are uh, promoting their brand fairly strongly. The winner here is Glasses USA, which happens to be cut above the rest. So that is an intelligence that piece of intelligence that you're getting from here. The other thing is urgency score. So both in the call to action as well as in the body of the uh, text of the ad, what is the sense of urgency that is created towards buying the brand's product? So that is what we are looking at here. And here, as you can see, Glasses USA is standing out among these five brands in terms of having showing a greater sense of urgency in its ad copies, whereas others are sort of more or less the same, with maybe a couple of brands being a bit laid back. And then the brand voice score. So this is a measure of how consistent the brand voice comes across all the ads a particular brand is running, and a higher score is better. This is again on a score of 0 to 1, and you can see that these scores are about uh, anywhere from 0.29 to 0.42. And the reason it's not too high is because at any point in time, a brand is running ads at different stages of the funnel. So it's unlikely that you would have a consistent voice across those as well. So I would say this is a fairly good score for a brand to have. And then we are talking about the funnel stage distribution itself. And here you can see that uh, uh, we get a distribution for each brand on how many or what percentage of their ads are targeting either the top of the funnel, which is mainly about creating awareness and education, middle of the funnel, which is the consideration phase, and bottom of the funnel or lower end of the funnel, where it's about objection handling and handling high intent users and people who have already sort of made up their mind but need one final push in order to convert. So you can see that for the most part, most of the brands here are focusing on bottom of the funnel, with the exception of lens crafters. So that is an interesting piece of intelligence that comes across from this. And the next one is messaging angles. What are the different messaging angles that are evident in a particular brand's advertising? And here again, a particular ad could have more than one angle. That's why you see that the sum of these three numbers doesn't necessarily add up to the total number of ads we have. It is much more than that. But you can see that overall, most of the brands focus predominantly on benefits, and some of them feature on, focus on feature, and some on discount. And this is how the distribution looks like across different uh, brands under consideration. So I would say here LensCrafters is sort of the anomaly that has a sense of urgency that is lower, but other than that, I would say more or less they're all they all have similar messaging angles. So and then here we have a summary of what this messaging means. So this is the first piece of information that we are getting from our strategic labeling. Remember that this is coming mainly from text data. We haven't yet looked at the image data that we have from the ads. So this is all coming from either the call to action text or the title of the ad or from the uh, body of the ad. So that's what stage 5 is about. And then we come to stage 6, and this is mainly about embeddings generation, if you remember. And here, what we do is for every ad, we uh, take the uh, three fields of interest, which is call to action and body and title, and concatenate them and create embeddings out of them. So we're using a text embedding model, 768 dimensional text embedding model. This is fairly short amount of text, so should be reasonable. And yeah, this is where we generate the embeddings, and this is the results. Everything went fine here. And just to summarize, stage 6 was primarily about generating these embeddings using BigQuery, and we did that for our text data. And this forms the foundation for many of the things that we will do downstream with these embeddings. So then we come to stage 7, which is visual intelligence stage. Here we are mostly looking at the images from the ads and trying to extract intelligence out of these. And in order to keep costs under control, we do adaptive sampling, giving more weight to more recent ads and less to ads that are far out in the past. That way, we still don't lose out on the piece of intelligence that we want, but at the same time, don't end up racking up our cloud costs. So uh, here, as you can see, it's just taking 12 ads per brand, and we are um, calculating again similar to what we were doing in stage 5. Uh, we are looking at the competitive positioning of different brands across various metrics of interest. And here, one of the things that you can look at is that this is an alignment score, which talks about the alignment between text and visual. So high alignment means that the message that is coming across from the copy and the image are the same, and this you typically want it to be high. And all of the brands achieve a higher value. And then we can also look at consistency, and you can see that most of the brands are fairly consistent. There isn't a great deal of spread here, and we'll come to what fatigue risk is, and there's uh, some of the other metrics here, which is luxury score, which means how accessible it feels versus how luxury or premium it feels in its messaging that we are extracting out of the visual data that we have. And this is about the messaging boldness and messaging uniqueness. And you can see in this particular case study, most of the brands are about the in the same ballpark, maybe like slight spread around one of the brands, whereas all the other brands are more or less the same. And here we get some key competitive insights as well, like what is the brand that has the most premium positioning. In this case, it's Lens Crafters. What is visually most unique? That's our target brand, Warby Parker. And what is the brand that is most consistent? That's again Warby Parker. So we get these useful competitive insights. And we also are plotting some of these to better visualize what this looks like. So here, one of the things that we are looking at is what is the demographic targeting distribution by brand. And here, this is telling a very clear story where LensCrafters is targeting across different demographics, all the way from affluent people to families to professionals to seniors, whereas all the other brands are focusing only on young adults. And similarly, we can also get fair bit of information about what the visual style is of these brands in their advertising. And you can see that Lens Crafters here is the odd man out with a clear professional kind of styling, whereas all the others are more of casual messaging brands. And we get this level of information on what the creatives in this case are saying. So this is what we get in stage 7. And then we move on to stage 8. So this is where we start getting into some more involved metrics and how we uh, derive those from the data that we have, and how that informs our uh, intelligence, insights, and understanding about competitor intelligence. So this is stage 8. And a few of the things that we are going to do here is getting a sense of whether there are some competitors that are copying you or not. So you can do that by looking at the days in which your competitor start running an ad and comparing that to how similar or dissimilar your previous ads were, and vice versa. And so you implicitly have a notion of temporal intelligence here, because you also collect the ad start date and end date while you ingest the data. And based on this, you can understand how the distribution of your ads and your competitors' ads is changing through time. And one of the other things is call to action intelligence. Call to action is pretty important in advertising. This is one of the more important determinants of how your messaging comes across in your advertising. And we can analyze CTA through many different lens and gain some intelligence out of these. And also, as I mentioned earlier, we can uh, we are also interested in not just what is happening right now and what happened in the past, but likely what could happen in the future. So we are also interested in forecasting some of these strategic metrics that we are looking at into the future. So we have like a 1, 2, and 4 week windows up to which we predict with increasing amounts of uncertainty, of course. So that's the kind of analysis and intelligence we hope to gain in this stage 8 strategic analysis. And you can see uh, this analysis ran, and you can already see some interesting bits coming out of this. So the fatigue level, which I still haven't talked about fully, see that the fatigue level is medium for our target brand, and originality score is low. And the recommendation here is that we must consider content diversification, of course. And one other thing that comes across from this analysis is that there is a copying that was detected from a competitor. They have a similarity score of 0.73. This is, of course, based on content similarity alone. And when their ads started versus since when your ads were running. So that's the uh, initial analysis that we are getting. But let me show you some of the strategic recommendations and interventions that come about in this stage of the pipeline. So one of the immediate tactical recommendations is that the current aggressiveness of the call to action is well positioned because uh, yeah, all other competitors are also in the similar range, and then there's a bit of urgency overload in the messaging, which may not be a good thing. It could cause some fatigue with the viewers of the ad, and as I mentioned earlier, there might be some refresh that might be needed, and yeah. So the other thing is, of course, the competitive threat. And here I'm visualizing this in a radar chart where I'm showing a few of these metrics of interest and how different brands are positioned in this radar chart. And clearly, you can see that LensCrafters is a slightly different brand that focuses on soft sell, not very hard CTAs, whereas all other brands are pretty aggressive and even in terms of consistency of the call to action language, they are pretty high, and all of them seem to focus on urgency other than uh, LensCrafters, of course. So this is one thing. The other thing that we can infer is how our target brand is positioned with respect to call to action consistency score as well as the aggressiveness of it. And you can see that there is some correlation between how consistent a particular brand is and how aggressive its call to action messaging is. And this is the same data being plotted in a bar graph for better visualization. So yeah, so this completes our analysis on call to action and what is the intelligence that can be derived from the call to action analysis alone. And as you can see, there is quite a lot that we can learn from this. And then we get to the temporal intelligence part of it. This is also something that comes out as part of analysis in stage 8. And here I'll mainly focus on creative fatigue analysis. And maybe this is the point where I'll talk about how we are calculating a creative fatigue. So we are saying that uh, an ad is suffering from creative fatigue if most of the people have who are its target audience have already seen the ad, or uh, the same people have seen the ad multiple times. So that's when the fatigue sets in. How do we detect that? We don't have any kind of engagement data in the data set, but we are using some sort of a proxy for determining whether there is a fatigue that has set in. So if we notice that the new ads that are uh, coming up from our brand is similar to those of the old brands, and they're not in response to a similar kind of ad that our competitors are releasing, then that's a strong signal that this is because there is fatigue setting in, and uh, there is a refresh needed. And as you can imagine, since this works both ways, we can do the same thing about our competitors as well. So that is a pretty interesting analysis that comes about as a result of this. So here I'm showing how through time we are forecasting what the creative fatigue evolution looks like. So it seems like in this case, iBuyDirect has a fairly consistently high fatigue, whereas LensCrafters fatigue is it showed a peak and then it's on the decline, whereas for Warby Parker it has been reducing, which is a good thing. And here, of course, you have a larger uncertainty into the future, but of course, that is to be expected. And on the right side, you have the distribution of all the ads in terms of how many ads that were running at that instant suffered from fatigue. So, as you can see, across the board, there are more ads that have a fairly high degree of fatigue. This is to be expected because most of the ads do run for long, and it's only when the performance reduces that people start thinking of refresh. Whereas you can still see that there are some ads that have a fewer, a lesser amount of fatigue. Some are really fresh, like about 170 ads here are fresh. So that's again a pretty useful piece of information to understand in terms of when you need to refresh your creative and when the um, fatigue has set in. And uh, as you can see here, there is a lot of valuable information that you can glean, irrespective of whether you are looking at Warby Parker, your target brand, or also from your competitor's viewpoint. What is the current fatigue score, and what is the originality score, and so on. So, and we also have some observations that come about as a result of the recommendations from the model, and can see that we can get that piece of information for all the brands of interest. And yeah, this is what the summary looks like for fatigue analysis. And let's move forward. And here again, we talked about CTA, call to action aggressiveness. This is the same data being presented in a matrix to allow for easier comparison across different messages as well as your competitors, but essentially the same piece of information. And you can see that here you can glean who are some of your more aggressive competitors and by how much they are. So here on a scale of 10, this is city aggressiveness is on a scale of 1 to 10, and you have a point 0.2 points or 0.1 points of difference, which means that while they are aggressive, they aren't too aggressive. And here you have some less aggressive competitors like minus zero point 0.4 is probably not a lot, but minus 2.2 means that they are clearly behind the pack. So that is sort of the other piece of information that comes about in this analysis. So to summarize, we have at the end of stage 8 a comprehensive analysis of where the current state is, both for the brand as well as its competitors, and all sorts of temporal intelligence on creative fatigue and call to action, and also some forecasting that we can make based on some of the ML forecast models that we can run on BigQuery directly. So that's your stage 8. And in stage 9, you have again many dimensional pieces of intelligence that we are able to gain. So one is audience intelligence, like what platform you should target and what are the communication patterns you should have, and creative intelligence, channel intelligence, and white space. So this is a pretty interesting one. So one of the things that comes about as a result of this analysis is that you can look at the whole space of messaging angle, demographic, and funnel stage, and understand what are the truly global gaps. Like, where is no one looking at? Where is no one focusing on advertising? So that could be an opportunity worth exploring, and that is something that comes about as a result of this analysis. We can look at ads in this three-dimensional space of messaging angle, demographic, and funnel stage, and decide uh, where truly global gaps are. So that's a pretty useful piece of information for identifying future opportunities. And here I'm just going to show what that looks like, and yeah, here you have again a lot of information on creative intelligence and channel intelligence and white space. There were three strategic recommendations. So virgin territory is where nobody is looking at, so there are no competitors, and you can use a functional or a problem-solving message or a social proof angle with a particular funnel stage. So I'll show you the JSON where you can see what this is, but this got cut off in the notebook. But yeah, so this is the stage 9 of our you can slice and dice many which ways. You can do each of these uh, dimensions of intelligence analysis for every brand and then compare. So the key insights could be that you can see what the strategies are for each of the brands. So to summarize here in stage 9, you have 5 different dimensions along which you can gain intelligence, not just about your brand, but also about your competitors. So this is the end of analysis, and the final stage is, of course, reporting this intelligence, and we want to do it in a way that is not that does not cause information overload. So that's why we do it in a progressive disclosure manner. So we have a 4 level intelligence where in the first level we are just surfacing executive summary kind of uh, output, and in the next level one click down of strategic analysis and what it means. The next level would be like what are the interventions, and the final level would be how can we monitor some of these signals on an ongoing basis through dashboards. So the pipeline outputs all of these, and you can see that uh, there is data that is available for viewing in the form of JSON after the pipeline has completed as well. So this is the analysis of where the white space is, and this is identifying where the interventions could be, what could be the immediate actions, what are the short-term tactics, and so on. And this is more about where we are and what is sort of the lay of the land from an executive perspective. So this completes our 10 stage pipeline for competitor intelligence. And uh, as I mentioned earlier, all of this is BigQuery native, making use of SQL native commands and using the AI dot primitives and ML dot primitives in BigQuery in order to induce massive parallelism that otherwise wouldn't have been possible. So this is it. Thank you.